welcome to my very wonderful channel, Playboy 100,000. Welcome to my very wonderful channel, Playboy 100,000. My channel is all about how I wanna bang, how I wanna fuck 100,000 ladies. You are welcome to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any kind of question, you're welcome to ask. And I want you also to listen to all my other videos. Now, I created a strategy how I want to fuck 100,000 ladies. I wanted before I start, let me give you an explanation what's the definition of a playboy is. A playboy is well educated, a playboy has a lot of money, a playboy is successful when it comes to women, he enjoys the company of beautiful women, and furthermore, a playboy has a lot of money. In my case, a playboy is also really well educated. It means I speak several languages. I speak French, Spanish, the Italian language, I speak Latin, Old Greek, and I live right now in Milan. Before that, I used to live in France, exactly in Paris. And I told you the whole story why I went to Milan. Listen to all my other videos, then you're gonna have the answer. Now, today I'm gonna talk about, I wanna bang 100,000 ladies. It means 100,000 ladies. If I wanna make it in 10 years, it means I need to fuck normally. Normally, I need to fuck each day 300 to 400 ladies. But be honest, it doesn't work that way. You cannot fuck each day 300 to 400 ladies. It doesn't work that way. So I already started to fuck each day 5 ladies, but today it was a bit difficult, so I fucked only 3 ladies. Yes. The first name, Antonia, Sophia, and Alessandra. All those ladies are Italian ladies. They live in Milan, and they look really like Italians, sweet ladies, and I banged the shit out of them. Yes, I literally banged the shit out of them. For first, you need to understand, a playboy enjoys the company of beautiful chicks, but a playboy would never ever disgrace a lady. That is the definition of a playboy / a gentleman. Yes, a playboy is kind of like a gentleman, If you think you have Hefner, he is a playboy, he's playboy #1 on planet Earth, and he enjoys the company of beautiful, extraordinary young chicks, but only for sexual reasons. And listen to me, please. I enjoy the company of beautiful chicks. I'm 35, I'm in Milan, I have a lot of money, and guess what, I wanna bang 100,000 ladies. Yeah. Now let me start with Antonia. Antonia, I met her in a discotheque, and I do not want to mention the name of the discotheque in Milan. It's like, so great party, great people around, and great chicks, great bangable chicks, and you know what? I saw Antonia, and Antonia attended, she stepped into the club like, being the queen of the night, and, she was kind of like, interesting to watch, but I said to myself, like, baby, do not play this game to me, but she started, and I was kind of like, baby, I'm 35, how old are you? 20. So you do not play that game to me. And so we kind of like came in touch, and she started to play that game, like, I do not talk to anybody. I do not want to get in touch with everybody. With everybody. And the fact is, I started to play then my arrogant game, So every time we had eye contact, I started to look away. Every time she wanted to have a conversation with me, I started to go away. And guess what? Guess what? She became really friendly. She became really like, how you doing? And what's your name? Are you on holiday in Milan? So, but I played my game for a long time. So she was like, really begging me, like, please talk to me. And you know what? I started to talk to her, but I told her like, I wanna fuck you. Yeah, literally, I told her I wanna fuck you, and she was kind of like, what? Yes, I wanna fuck you, and she was like, I'm in a relationship, so I didn't care, and I went off. And guess what? She followed me. She followed me, through the whole room. And she was like, but I'm with my friends, she was around with a bunch of ladies, and so I didn't care really, and I told her like, maybe we can go outside, have a walk and whatever, and she agreed. We went outside, and I have a penthouse in the center of Milan. I have a hotel room, specifically reserved for me. And I have a mansion outside of Milan. And I ask her, like, I have a mansion outside of Milan and a hotel room. Where you want to get banged? And she was like, we can maybe go to the hotel room. And, I started to kiss her. She didn't refuse. But she was all the time like, I have a boyfriend. I'm in a relationship. And so I was like, don't worry. He's never about to find out. Do not worry, darling. So we went to the hotel room, and everything was like quite clear. And so we started to kiss. We started like, I started to finger her, and she then refused. Like, no, I cannot do this. I'm in a relationship, and the same story again. And I asked her what the problem is right now. You told me like 8 times you are in a relationship. How many times you want to tell me that shit? No, I love him, I cannot do this, and I like you, you're kind of like an interesting guy, but, I cannot do this. And I was like stepping out of the room. I was like stepping out of the room and went to the kitchen, I mean, there's a little, not kitchen, I mean, there's a little area where you can do some, whatever, like if you want to have warm food or whatever. So I went to that area, and she was alone in the bedroom, and she started to follow me. And she said like, I like you, but, it's like, I do not know you actually, so you cannot expect me like, to have sex with you immediately, I do not even know your real name. And I told her it's my real name, and I showed her even my ID, and so she was kind of like, okay, but not tonight, because, it's not the right time. And guess what? I grabbed her, I started to kiss her, and she didn't refuse again. Like, I carried her over again to the bedroom, and so I started to kiss her and lick her neck and even kiss her feet, and and then guess what? I started to finger her again. She didn't refuse, and so because she didn't refuse, I started then to lick her shaven vagina. She didn't refuse. And I started to place my dick in her mouth, and she didn't refuse. And guess what? And then I started to bang her, and she didn't refuse. Women enjoy to talk. Women enjoy to do blah 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 and whatever. And so I banged her. We were in the hotel room for a while, and she was like, I do not do that normally. Normally, I'm in love. I love him really so much, and I cannot understand how I did it, why I did it. And so that was basically Antonia. We stayed a while in my hotel room, and then, we went back to the party, but the rest is history. Now we go to Sophia. Sophia, when we returned back to the discotheque, when we entered the discotheque, I went around, I was walking around, and I saw a lady constantly watching me, and I said like hello to her, but she didn't say hello back, so I just thought like, come on, fuck you, whatever. I had anyway sex, so I do not need you necessarily. And as the party was going on, we kind of like, we crossed each other, let's say, we crossed each other like constantly, like, it was a big discotheque, but it was like a it's like a small area where you constantly, see everybody, if you keep walking around. And as I was walking around again, I saw her again, and she kind of like stopped me. Hello, what's your name? I told her my name, but in a way I was like, come on, fuck you or whatever, My name is Sophia, and so you are not an Italian guy. No, I told her, you need to understand, we were using the Italian language. And she was like, where you from, and what you doing in Milan? And so immediately I had in my mind my project to bang 100,000 ladies, to fuck the shit out of the body, to fuck the shit out of the body of 100,000 ladies. Now, I told her the scenario, the whole thing, what my profession is. My profession is I inherited a lot of money. It means, baby, I do not necessarily have to work. And she was like, kind of like surprised, and so we had a conversation there, But I was constantly like, baby, I didn't told you for sure, I didn't told you I want to bang her only, And she was like, where you live? And so I told her the place. Really? And yes, really? Are you a rock star? No, I'm not a rock star. I told you what I do. Whatever, And sorry, please. And she was like, let's exchange telephone numbers. It was her idea then, and we kind of like exchange telephone numbers, and so, and then we decided like, to have a drink together, and, to have a conversation while we were having a drink. And so she was kind of like, I could feel there's something wrong, and there was something wrong, because she's like, whatever kind, like, how you label a lady, how you call a lady, a prostitute is somebody who does it for money, but how you call a lady if she fucks with everybody without charging money? A slut. No, not a slut, a bitch, or whatever, And I could smell it, So, and she was like, I'm a lady with class, and I got already bored. You need to understand that. And, I asked her, like, I can show you my hotel room. And so we went to the hotel, and I was talking like, when we entered the hotel, I knew all those employees, and I talked like to the manager, like, in private, look, I already had a lady in the room, and, now I have another chick, I want to bang her, can you give me another room, like, just, just for that lady, and so he was kind of like, fine, he gave me another room, and so as we entered the room, it was immediately clear, we started to kiss, and she had nothing against it. She was like, she didn't refuse, she didn't like, was like, she kind of like enjoyed it, and everything went really quick, so I fucked her like, I came in her mouth, I came on her tits, I came in her ass, and she gave me a beautiful blowjob, and we kind of like fall asleep. Yes. So the next morning, quite boring, we didn't sleep much, like let's say 3 or 4 hours, but we were awake and we did it again, And then I asked her, like, kindly to leave, and she was like, am I going to see you again? I told her no, and she was like, because I knew she's playing a game, and I'm playing a game. I could smell it, And so I slept the whole day, and, so when I woke up, I went downstairs, I wanted to talk to the manager, and the manager was not there, and so I went, to my penthouse apartment, and, I watched my emails, and, you need to understand, I have other chicks running, going on, to do my project, and Alessandra sent me a message like, if we can meet, Alessandra, I met her somewhere, and so I thought like, okay, I'm still in the mood for sex, so, and why not, let's meet, So, I went to the bathroom, make myself fresh, change my clothes, and then I went, to meet Alessandra. Alessandra, also typical Italian lady, white curly hair, really not really tall, but very, if you see her, like, it's like Kylie Minogue. She looks like Kylie Minogue, small size Kylie Minogue, but with dark hair, and I mean with dark curly hair, and I'm kind of like now used to this game. I know what to do, what to say, to bang those stupid chicks. And I told her, like, we can go to my mansion outside of Milan. And she was like, quite okay. And so I called my driver, and he came around, and it took a while because he was not directly in the center. So we waited, and then we went to the car. When she saw the car, this is a car, really? Yes, this is a car. It is a Maybach S600. If you do not know what a Maybach S600 is, you are welcome to Google. And so we drove to my mansion, and it's a 3-story mansion, really big mansion, big garden, one indoor swimming pool, one outdoor swimming pool, beautiful marble swimming pool. And what, she was really surprised, kind of stunningly impressed. And guess what? We started to kiss, and we had sex. Yes, wonderful sex. And I'm gonna make that story a bit shorter, and because nothing special happened, but we had a great time, and a long time together. And then, I had another appointment actually going on. So, because I want to fuck daily 5 ladies. So, we decided then, it's time to go to the center again. And, so I wanted to date another lady. I don't want to mention the name right now. And, I went to the place to meet, and, I kept waiting, and she didn't show up. So I tried to call her, and she was like, yeah, you know what, I'm in an appointment. What kind of appointment? You have an appointment with me? What are you doing? No, I cannot leave right now. You need to wait a little bit. So I keep waiting, and after 2 hours, I was like, what kind of game is she playing? So I called her again, and she was like, you know what, I cannot make it, and I was like, I was really pissed, really, because, I expected her to come around, and she didn't show up. So, but anyway, and so I went home again, and so I talked to another lady because I needed to do 5 ladies, each day 5 ladies, and I only had 3 ladies. And then I called, I don't want to mention her name, and she was like, yeah, we can meet, and so, but I gonna call you again. Okay. So I waited and waited and waited, and so she didn't call me. And so I called her back, and she was like, sorry, I forgot to call you. And are you serious, baby? Are you kidding me? You must be joking me, darling. So, and she was like, you know what, can you do me a favor? I have a friend, and she wants to go to art school, and, she can you pick something up from the art school? And I was like, are you serious? No, I don't do that, And she was like, so I cannot meet you then. I was like, then, come on, fuck you. And so I hung up the telephone. So I was like really pissed, so, and then I started to call another chick, and you know what, she was like, no, I'm tired, we can meet another day. And so I hung the telephone up, and I realized then it doesn't work that day, that day is like, whatever it is, it's gonna be a complicated day. So I'm kind of like, okay, with three chicks, I banged 3 chicks. It means the next time I have to bang 2 more chicks. It means 7. Hopefully it works. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out. If you like, subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.